There are strong characters in anime, and then there's Satoru Gojo, a man so far beyond everyone else that even the people who run the Jujutsu world lose sleep over him. Today we're breaking down every single form Satoru Gojo goes through in Jujutsu Kaisen, from the moment he was born and shook the entire balance of power all the way to his final brutal clash against Sukuna. And yes, we're going all the way to the end. Full spoilers ahead, you've been warned. Let's get into it. Form 1. Kid Gojo. On December 7th, 1989, a child was born, and the Jujutsu world collectively held its breath. Satoru Gojo came into existence as the first person in 400 years to be born with both the Six Eyes and the Limitless technique simultaneously. Not one, both at birth. So what does that actually mean? The Limitless technique lets Gojo manipulate space itself, and its default state, infinity, creates an infinitely dividing barrier between him and anything trying to hit him. Attacks just slow down. Until they stop, you literally cannot touch him. The Six Eyes on top of that give him extraordinary perception and cursed energy control so refined that he wastes almost zero energy maintaining infinity at all times. Even as a kid, his senses were so sharp that he could sense Toji Fushiguro, a man who has zero cursed energy, approaching from behind. That's not supposed to be possible. Nobody else has ever done it. He was so dangerous as a child that someone put a 100 million yen bounty on his head before he even started high school. But here's the thing, growing up as the most powerful person alive isn't all it's cracked up to be. Gojo felt isolated, trapped by his clan's expectations, and genuinely lonely. That shaped everything about who he'd become. Form 2. Student/teenage Gojo. To escape that loneliness, Gojo enrolled at Jujutsu High, where he'd meet Suguru Geto and Shoko Yeri, the first people who actually felt like equals to him, and personality-wise, complete transformation. The quiet, reserved kid became this goofy, arrogant, endlessly confident teenager who knew he was built different, and had no problem telling everyone about it. Technically, teenage Gojo was already terrifyingly powerful, blistering speed, raw cursed energy output that dwarfed anyone around him. He could use cursed technique lapse, blue, which compresses space into a single point, creating a crushing vacuum that pulls everything toward it. Even a maximized blue functions like a miniature black hole. But here's his ceiling at this point. He couldn't use red. He tried. It didn't work, because despite having the raw power, he didn't yet understand his technique. He was wielding something he hadn't fully unlocked. That gap between power and understanding is exactly what Toji Fushiguro exposed. After escorting Riko Amanai back to Jujutsu High, Gojo finally lets his guard down and drops his infinity. He's exhausted, the mission feels over, and that's the exact moment Toji drives a blade through him from behind. The fight that follows is humbling. Toji has no cursed energy, which makes him nearly impossible to read or predict. He's faster, more experienced, and he systematically dismantles Gojo until Gojo is left collapsed on the ground, bleeding out, barely alive. It's the first time Gojo truly understood he wasn't invincible. Not yet. Form 3, Awakened Gojo. But this is where everything changes. Lying on the ground, on the edge of death, Gojo stops trying to fight back. Instead, he turns all of his focus inward. And in that moment of complete stillness, something clicks. He understands cursed energy, all of it. The entire logic of it becomes clear to him at once, in an instant, like a code finally deciphered. He masters the reverse curse technique, a complex ability that flips cursed energy into positive energy, capable of healing the human body. His classmate Shoko had developed it before him, but couldn't teach it. You have to figure it out yourself. Gojo figured it out while dying. He heals himself, and then he walks back to find Toji. The rematch is night and day. Gojo moves differently, effortlessly reading and dodging every attack with a clarity he didn't have before. And now that he understands how to reverse his cursed energy, he unlocks what he couldn't before. Cursed technique, reversal, red. Where blue pulls everything in, red repels. A powerful, explosive burst of repulsive force that sends anything it touches flying. The first time he uses it, Toji calls him a monster. But Gojo isn't done. He takes it further. He combines blue and red, push and pull, positive and negative, to create something that shouldn't exist. Hollow technique, purple. Purple generates an imaginary mass, a force that erases whatever it touches, not destroys. Erases, gone from reality. Entire forests, gone. People, gone. No exceptions. It's a secret technique known only within the Gojo family, and the moment he unleashes it, the fight is over. Standing in the aftermath, Gojo laughs and declares, "Throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one." He means it. Form 4, Adult Gojo. This is the Gojo most of us met first, the teacher at Jujutsu High, the guy in the blindfold who strolls into fights like they're inconveniences. And compared to his awakened form, he's grown even further. At this stage, he has complete mastery over blue, red, and purple. He's so comfortable with his abilities that against special grade curses, he casually drops the Limitless entirely and just uses raw cursed energy and hand-to-hand combat to dismantle them in 3-on-1 situations, for fun almost. But the defining addition in this form is Domain Expansion, Unlimited Void. Domain expansions are the pinnacle of Jujutsu sorcery. Very few sorcerers can even attempt one. Gojo's domain pulls his target into a space overloaded with infinite information. Every sensation, every thought, every stimulus flooding in simultaneously all at once without pause. The brain can't process it. The target can't move, can't think, can't do anything. They just stand there, overwhelmed until it's over. The first time we see it deployed against Jogo, a special grade curse, it suppresses Jogo's own domain instantly and leaves him completely helpless. And as if that wasn't enough, Gojo pushes it further. During the chaos of the Shibuya incident, surrounded by civilians he can't afford to harm, he figures out how to flash his domain open for exactly 0.2 seconds, long enough to overload every mind in range and render them unconscious, but short enough that ordinary humans survive it without lasting damage. He then proceeds to eliminate over 1,000 transfigured humans by hand in under 5 minutes. This is Gojo at the peak of controlled, refined power, and then Kenjaku takes it all away. Form 5, Sealed Gojo. It was a trap built specifically for him. Kenjaku flooded him with memories of Gato, his best friend, now dead and wearing a stolen body, and in that moment of emotional vulnerability, sealed him inside the prison realm. The prison realm is a pocket dimension, a small cube covered in eyes. Inside, time doesn't pass. There's no light, no escape, just an eerie, dark space filled with skeletons and silence. For 19 days, October 31st to November 19th, the strongest sorcerer in history was locked in a box, but even this had a silver lining Kenjaku didn't anticipate. Form 6, Unsealed / Full Power Gojo. When Gojo emerges from the prison realm, he comes back sharper. The time inside wasn't wasted. Studying the prison realm's structure, how something so small could be completely unbreakable, gave him new insight into his own domain. He learns to compress Unlimited Void into a much smaller space, making its barriers dramatically more powerful. Smaller, denser, harder. He's barely out before he's face to face with Ryomen Sukuna, the king of curses. They agree on a date, December 24th. When the day comes, Gojo doesn't ease into it. With Utahimi's ritual buffing his cursed energy output, he opens with a 200% hollow purple fired from long range. Twice the normal destructive power of an already world-ending technique. It burns off Sukuna's arm. Sukuna regenerates. Of course he does. What follows is the greatest fight in the series. Two domain expansions collide. Unlimited Void versus Malevolent Shrine. And here's where it gets complicated. Sukuna's domain doesn't create a closed barrier. It expands outward into the real world, meaning it can attack Gojo's domain from the outside and break through it. Gojo gets exposed to Sukuna's guaranteed slashes. He heals with reverse curse technique continuously while fighting. At one point he uses RCT not just to heal his body, but to restore his exhausted cursed technique itself, something that, according to everyone watching, should not be possible. He flashes his domain on and off, uses simple domain, uses falling blossom emotions, lands black flashes, deletes Sukuna's summoned Shikigami Ajito with a maximized blue, then merges blue and red remotely to drop another hollow purple that erases Mahoraga from existence. For a stretch, Gojo is winning. Form 7, Final Form. Spoiler warning, this is your absolute last chance to stop. Even at his peak, and even doing things that shouldn't be possible, Sukuna finds the answer. The World Slash. A cut that doesn't just cut flesh or bone, it cuts space itself. It cuts the world. Infinity doesn't matter when the attack isn't targeting Gojo, it's targeting reality around him. With that, Satoru Gojo is cut in half. The strongest sorcerer in history, the man born to shift the balance of power, the honored one, gone. But here's what matters, and what the series makes clear in his final moments. Gojo died at the absolute height of his power, doing what he loved, against the only opponent who could ever truly challenge him. He wasn't diminished. He wasn't broken down slowly. He went out in the greatest fight the Jujutsu world had ever seen, and that, honestly, feels right for him. From a kid with a bounty on his head at birth to a warrior who pushed every limit of what a sorcerer could even be, Satoru Gojo is one of the most complete character arcs in modern anime. Which form was your favorite? Drop it in the comments. And if you want more Jujutsu Kaisen breakdowns just like this one, subscribe. We've got plenty more coming. See you in the next one.